Hi everyone, thanks for joining my channel today on another day of the 100-day challenge. And today is all about the playing cards. There's so many different things that you can do with it. If you put in Google like playing card of ephemera, you will find a ton of different things. You see a bunch of supplies here on my desk. I have some distress inks. I have a couple of oxide spray. I have some lace. Well, I have some sparkly bits right here. I have some coffee and tea dye paper. I have a little piece of the Easter egg dyed paper with onion skins. I have a couple of book pages. I have my block to smush. I have tea bags. I have lots and lots of tea bags. This is what happens when you don't drink coffee and you just drink tea. You have a never-ending supply of tea bags. What else do I have? Baby wipes, so you know it's going to be messy. Music paper. You don't need the elastic band. I have some doily, I have a needle for some sewing, and I have some baker's twine for sewing as well. So I'm going to put some of this away because on the side right now, because I don't need it right away. What we are going to do first is make the messy. The first thing we're going to do is we have the cards, I have a glue stick, and I have book page and music paper. All right, so what I'm going to do, and I think I want to use the Joker, is first thing, and yes, I'm using a cheap glue stick because there's no point in using the good glue stick to do this project because we're going to be ripping most of this off again. And because these are casino style playing cards, they have holes in the middle. So I'm just going to glue them face down onto a piece of book page. Okay. All right, so this can just dry. Should probably do some that are facing up. There we go. So here I don't have it completely covered. So what I'm going to do is just tear a strip off of the edge and make sure that it is attached. Right there. This is really just about playing, and mixed media should never be too much about think work. You should be playing. Play with your supplies. Play with ideas that you've seen and make them your own. I'm really enjoying that I get to do a different project every day and that I get to use my imagination. And I like when there isn't a lot of concentrating needed. When I was binding the Gothic Architecture Journal and when I was working on that, there was a lot of think work happening. And I don't believe that I had the opportunity to really chat, and like it was mostly about the journal and what I was making. There's something about working with mixed media and tea. They just go it just goes hand in hand. I want to find a couple of red cards because let's use the hearts. I want some face cards. Queen. Do I want a king? No, but I want the joker. Continue on. I think I have 7 more decks. And I put a call out one time asking if anybody had playing cards that they weren't using, that where they were missing a card, or and this lady commented that her mom was a bit of a hoarder and had 8 decks of cards, or at least 8 decks of cards. And so she gave me 7 and said I could have more if I needed it, which goes to tell me that there's probably way more than 8. I did ask her if maybe her mom was hoarding buttons as well, and she said that they would be, she did, but they were stored somewhere far, far away. Oh man, if I could get my hand on those buttons, that would be so awesome. Used to have a big jar, and then I gave them to my daughter when I moved away to Calgary for a couple of years, and I had to empty my space. So I lost some things at that time that made total sense. Like, there was no way that I needed to bring a huge jar of buttons. But now I'm wishing that I still had them. And I can ask my daughter for them, but why would I do that? I can collect new ones now, or new to me ones. So I think it is dry. Yep. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very carefully rip the paper off the playing card. Not the playing card off the paper, but the paper off the playing card. However, I am going to pull it apart. There we go. Now you can also do it where you're not covering the whole card with glue, where you're just doing bits and pieces. And I've done that before, but I wanted to see what it would look like if we did it this way. Because doing the same thing all the time gets so boring. Wow, I'm actually shocked that this glue is sticking the way it does. If you're wanting it to stick, it doesn't. So right now it is sticking extremely well. So you can see the hearts through the paper and the music notes. So I think I want to work on the 10 and maybe this one. Let's do 2. We'll do these 2. Let's do 2 different techniques. So this one, I want to cover, I want probably a little bit lighter one. So probably this one. I want to cover this with the tea bag, and you can see the tea bag is going to give it a much more grungy look. So how we are going to do that is by grabbing just some liquid PVA glue, and I am going to use my fingers to apply it, but you can apply it with a brush or anything, but I'm going to use my fingers. I like using my fingers for art projects. It just makes me feel good. I have way too much glue, so I may need to grab one more card just so that we can use up all the glue. There we go. So I'll do a white one and one with vintage paper. Okay. So I'll put the lighter one on the one with the vintage paper. And then I'll take a darker one and put it on the one with the white paper. And this is the exact same glue, it's just in a smaller bottle. Just to make sure that all the edges are completely covered and that it's not just going to peel off easily. Okay. Let those dry. So this one, what I want to do with it is I have my water bottle and I have my Distress Oxides. I don't want to spray. I don't want to make it that much of a mess, so I'm just going to undip it. And I want to make one with just a vintage photo. And you can, if you can tell, I am getting the spray everywhere, but that's okay. Okay, then we're going to spray some water on it. And let it do its, I'm going to let it dry now. And these are still drying. So in the meantime, all right. So I have these 3 different kinds of paper. And I want to find interesting bits and pieces. And then I am going to use one of the playing cards that we've also done. And I'm going to grab a pen or a pencil there. And I'm going to trace around here. Not very neatly, but that's okay. That one, and maybe go straight beside. No, right there. This is a question of finding the interesting pieces of the tea dye paper. So those are cool. And then I have, oh yeah, definitely this piece. There. And I'm not being overly neat and tidy. I know this one I want to use in combination with the vintage photo. I think that would be beautiful. Seriously, I should have scanned all my onion and blue Easter egg die papers because they were all beautiful. I've made a few projects with it. All right. Look how cool this is starting to look. And you can definitely see through the music paper now. Okay, 2 more. Some of the paper is better than others. The onion dyed paper is on 30 pound paper, and this is regular copy paper, and this is regular copy paper. So this one, I don't know if I want to smush this or anything. I love the colors on it, and I think I want to use it in combination with that one. That one can be put away. And I have these two. These are dry now. So I'm not even going to cut around them. I'm going to rip the tea bag off the playing card. I don't want the edges to be smooth or anything. I want it to look ripped and vintage and worn. And of course it's glued to the back side. That's all good. Here we go. So normally I would let this dry completely, but because we are limited on time, I am just going to keep going. And it doesn't overly matter. This definitely needs to dry just a little bit more. So then I have, this is dry enough that I can stamp on it. I have some stamps that are dots to use. They're brand new, so I just want to make sure they're going to be working properly. So I want to use these, like, they're not just dots, they're like splatters, like if you drip something somewhere, or so that's what I want to put on there. Oh, I like that a lot. I'll put it another set. There we go. Look how cute that is. Okay, I have another one that has the splatter and then a coffee ink or a coffee stain. There we go. Let's clean that part out a little bit. There we go. There we go, just a little grungier. I'm going to use them again. Okay, so now I have 2 pieces of paper to go with each. Do I want to do it like that? Yeah, I could do that. And I think I want to ink around them. So I'm going to start with the wild honey. I just want a little bit of extra color here and there. I love the wild honey. I love the warmth of it. There. And it goes so well in combination with the darkness of the coffee dye or tea dye, or That's one. And that's a pink one. I want to use a pink one. A red one. There we go. So then we'll use the fired brick on the other two. Can you see what I mean with the softness? It's a little bit of a, almost like an iridescent look that you get with the inks that I don't believe, I don't see that very well with the oxides. There we go. I think I want to use that right there. It's nice and messy. Do that just on one, and then the other one, that little spray of water. There we go. Do a little bit of that. I will pick it up there as well. There we go. That can go aside to dry, and we'll go back to the wild honey. I think maybe I'm going to wipe it up with a doily. I don't want the ink to go to waste. I've had my distress inks probably for about 10 years where I started working with it. And little by little, I've just been collecting them. And the ones that I want right now is the Salvage Patina and the Scorched Timber. I'm not overly concerned about any of the other colors. There we go. Do the same thing with the wild honey. Let's use Ooh, I like it. Look at that. Yeah, it looks good. I like it a lot. A little bit of water. Go. Grab some more doily. the doily with the fired brick, and let's just use up all the wild honey with it. There we go. Okay. This one is just about dry, so I want to put a little bit of wild honey, oxide ink, or oxide spray right here. I won't need a lot. And then smush that in there as well. Okay. I don't want to turn the blower on. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to tear this. And I have 2 pieces and I have 3 pieces. And I'm going to do the same thing. Do you think this one will work already? Yep. In 3 pieces. I don't think I need as many pieces as what I have here. But anyway, so I'm going to put this over here. I want to kind of scrunch it up. Make it look messy. Okay. And the same with this. Mess it up. Maybe use a little vintage photo ink on there. Scrunch it up. Yeah, I want it to rip. I want it to just be messy. So I don't think I'll have a lot of time left. So I'm just going to finish one. And then I will make a short video with the remainders. So this one I want to have in reds. Even though there is a piece of yellow on there. But I just want the reds. So I'm going to take, instead of, I could glue it. Actually, I may glue just around the edges to make sure that it is going to be permanently stuck. There you go. There, may take a little bit of the doily. No, I don't want to use the doily, I want to use the lace. So I want to use some of the red lace. Don't need a lot, just need a little piece. Okay. And I'm going to grab my 3-in-1 glue, just because it works better when you're trying to glue fabric to paper, and because there's a plastic underlay on here, I don't want to take a lot of chances. So I'm going to stick this right under. There. And then I'm going to grab a piece of baker's twine. Why is this pink? This is not red. I'll use the black. Use the baker's twine and needle. I have the pokey tool, but I don't think I need it. These are pretty sharp needles. I think what I'm wanting to do is going to work very, very well for it. There we go. And then I'm going to poke through here. Make a little knot. And go through it, and then we'll poke through. And over, poke through, poke through, ugh. It's still pretty tough getting through the playing card. Let me just zoom in a little bit, because then so what I do is I poke through, put the needle on the top of the thread, and then move the thread back again to right there. And then it's a pretty basic stitch. And I'm not going to go all the way around because it's so boring. Ugh. There. I'm just going to go around to here. And then I may do like a little bit right here as well. I believe this is called a blanket stitch because you do this for around a blanket to finish it neatly. But for a junk journal playing card, it works very well as well. Let me just zoom out just a little bit because I think I might be too far. Whoops. Let's not make it shake. There we go. I'm just going to go around. One more time and then tie a knot. Do I care that it doesn't look all that neat? No, it's on the back right now anyway. There we go. So then I just want to use up the thread and do just a little bit right here on the bottom. Can I do this neater? Absolutely. Do I want to do it neater? No, I want this to be messy and grunchy. Right there. So I think I want to find a butterfly. I want that one. Just one, or do I want to use two? I want this one as well. Don't worry, the other ones will get cut out as well. So then we just have to quickly fussy cut around it. Just don't have the best scissors in the world here. I'm going to use a little ink. Little glue, 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 glue. I may need something a little bit more colorful. I don't know why. Don't know why it just doesn't. Ooh. Here we go. You know, I have a little piece of labels here too, a little bit. Let me grab one. Oh, look at that. That one has playing cards. How cool is that? Pure luck. I want that right there. Maybe, maybe not. It's just missing something, and I think that might be when the glitters come in. I very carefully applied some glue. There. And again, very carefully applied some glue. Sequins. They're called sequins. And everything goes in threes. So I need to do one more spot. I think I am very happy with this. There's shimmer, there's shine, there's butterflies, there's lace, there's lots of color. I like it. I will add some photos on the end of this video. This is an altered playing card. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely day.